A major breakthrough at the Shangri-La Dialogue, Japan confirms the transfer of 6 warships to the Philippines. This isn't just another naval hand-me-down. It's a game-changer in Philippine maritime security strategy. What does this mean for the future of our Navy? How will it affect regional tensions in the South China Sea? And what role does Japan now play in helping the Philippines deter aggression from China? We break it all down, only here on Pinoy Guard. Welcome to Pinoy Guard. Today, we uncover the real story behind Japan's shocking move to hand over 6 Abukuma-class destroyer escorts to the Philippines. Is this a gift or a message to China? What deadly systems are hidden beneath their decks? And why are some of them being removed before they even reach us? Stay with us until the end, because what's really happening behind the scenes could redefine our entire naval future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more in-depth defense reviews, analysis, and updates on the modernization of the armed forces of the Philippines. While everyone was watching the headlines at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, a quiet agreement was forged behind closed doors. Japan has greenlit the transfer of all 6 Abukuma-class destroyer escorts to the Philippines. Why now? Why would Japan suddenly offer some of its most capable subhunting warships to another nation? It wasn't just generosity. According to Japan's strict 3 principles on the transfer of defense equipment, there had to be strategic motivation and strings attached. And here's the twist. This is the largest transfer of Japanese combat vessels to a foreign navy in modern history. Think about that. What threat is rising that's worth breaking precedent for? The Philippine Navy is expected to inspect the ships this summer, but they're not just checking if the engines run. They'll be evaluating how much can be kept and how much must be removed. The Harpoon anti-ship missiles, likely stripped out. The Phalanx CIWS requires a green light from the US. The combat sensors and sonar, outdated. So what will be left, and will it still be worth it? Here's where it gets even more interesting. Japan may allow joint development of future systems. That means we could see Filipino-engineered upgrades on a Japanese hull, designed to counter China's growing fleet. Could this be the beginning of a new indigenous defense partnership? On the surface, they may look like ordinary patrol ships, but don't be fooled. The Abukuma-class is equipped for anti-submarine warfare, a deadly necessity as Chinese submarines creep deeper into Philippine waters. Each ship includes an Otomalara 76mm gun, already familiar to Philippine gunners. ASROC launchers for anti-submarine rockets. Torpedo tubes, sonar systems, and radar, much of which could be replaced with state-of-the-art Japanese or NATO tech. A combined diesel or gas CODOG propulsion system, including a Rolls-Royce turbine built under license by Kawasaki. But here's the cliffhanger. This engine setup is brand new for the Philippine Navy. Will our sailors and mechanics be able to master it in time? This is more than hardware. This is geopolitical chess. By transferring these ships, Japan is making a statement, loud and clear. We stand with the Philippines, and we're not afraid to act. At a time when Chinese ships are water cannonading Filipino boats, when China's Navy is harassing Ionjan Shoal, Japan is stepping in, not just with words, but with warships. And this might be just the beginning. Behind the scenes, defense analysts believe this deal opens the door to exporting brand new Japanese warships to the Philippines in the future. joint naval development projects under Horizon 3, and even a regional defense production alliance that includes Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines. But is the Philippines ready for that kind of responsibility? Let's not sugarcoat it. These ships are more than 30 years old. To make them combat ready, the Philippines must be prepared to invest in serious modernization, such as replacing outdated radar and sonar with modern systems, possibly Japanese or even Korean. Integrating Western or ASEAN-compatible combat management systems. Retrofitting for Philippine Navy communications, surveillance, and interoperability with US and Australian allies. Some analysts believe we could even replace the removed Harpoons with Korean Haesong missiles or the new NSM from Kongsberg and Raytheon. But all this depends on one critical factor: funding. Will Congress allocate the budget, or will these ships sit idle like others before them? This deal could mark the beginning of a new naval era, where the Philippine Navy transforms from a coastal force to a regional sea power. But only if we commit to training crews in new propulsion and combat systems, developing our own upgrade pathways, forging long-term partnerships, not just transactions. The real value of these ships lies not in what Japan gives us, but in what we do with them next. China is already monitoring this transfer closely. 6 new warships under Philippine control, backed by Japanese tech and possibly upgraded with NATO systems, is not something Beijing will ignore. Could this spark increased pressure in the South China Sea? More aggressive tactics around our exclusive economic zone? Some insiders say China may already be preparing for countermeasures, from diplomatic protests to military exercises near Philippine waters. The Abukuma transfer may be seen as provocation or preparation. Which one will it be? So, let's ask the ultimate question. Is this gift from Japan a lifeline for our Navy or a test of our readiness? Because ships are just the beginning. The real power lies in how we use them, improve them, and integrate them into a doctrine that defends every inch of our maritime territory. 6 ships, 1 strategic alliance, and 1,000 possibilities. But unless the Philippines acts decisively, this historic transfer could be wasted potential, or worse, lost time. We'll be watching, because the moment the first Abukuma-class arrives, everything changes. Stay tuned for our next deep dive, where we discuss the likely missile replacements, Japan's warship export ambitions, and whether the Philippines could one day co-build a future fleet with Tokyo. What do you think? Can the Philippines handle 6 new warships? Should we push for missile upgrades or focus on anti-submarine capabilities? Comment below. Let's talk about it. Like this video if you want to see a stronger Philippine Navy. Subscribe and hit that bell to stay updated. This is Pinoy Guard Defense Decoded.